Hello, folks. Welcome back to the channel. And before we get into what we're going to talk about today, I want to talk to you for a second. 98% of you folks are not subscribed, and I don't get why. You're only doing yourself a disservice. So please, will you like and subscribe to this channel? We would greatly appreciate it. Now that the pleasantries are out of the way, let's talk about a game. Ultimate Spider-Man came out on the OG Xbox, the Nintendo GameCube, also on the PS2. This game is probably one of the better Spider-Man games that came out before Insomniac created the masterpiece they did on the PlayStation 4. Um, it's a good game. It follows a very comic book kind of style of game where you have different pages of the comic book pop up that you walk through and it explains it. It's all done through cinematics. You don't actually play through those sequences. It's has your typical Rose Gallery that's in most Spider-Man games and stuff like that. This is the first game I've really played up until Insomniacs where they got web slinging kind of right. This game's made by Treyarch. Of course, everybody knows Treyarch from the Call of Duty Zombie series. We know what they ultimately became, but in their early beginnings with this game, you could see them really starting to. They knew what they were doing, in other words. But the game is a lot of racing people in your Rose Gallery and other opponents, swinging through the city trying to beat their time, stuff like that. That is kind of overdone in the game quite a bit. It does get old after a while doing that. After you complete so many city type goals, and then it goes into the next part of the story. So, in other words, you start off in the story, then you got a bunch of fetch quests. Then after you complete X amount of fetch quests, then you can go into the story part of the game again. The fetch quest part of it isn't really that bad. It gets kind of redundant after a while when you get towards the end of the game. But all in all, for the time period and the failures that all the Spider-Man and superheroes in general video games were, except Batman. They've got Batman right for a long time. But this was really the first one that was kind of halfway decent in the Spider-Man world. Um, I dig it. Now Jeff, he just recently got introduced to it. He's played it a little bit. I'm kind of curious to see what he thinks about it because what I'm going off of is a lot of nostalgia with the game, and he is relatively new to it, so he may be way harsher on it than I am. But yeah, that's about it. Let's see what he's got to say about it.
Hey, it's Jeff. I know you guys have been wondering where I've been. Well, a man's got to work for a living, and then once he stops working for a living and gets laid off, he's got to immediately go back to work and all that stuff. So, anyway, playing this Spider Man game. Ultimate Spider Man, okay? So, never seen it before until today. Played it a little bit, and then Matt had already captured all this footage, so I had the pleasure, I guess you could say, of editing it down. And they really went all out on the cut scenes, if that, whatever, on there, which were actually pretty cool. I mean, they were awesome. The cell shaded graphics were great. Everything looked super cool. I just was like, oh man, every time you get into anything, it's another cutscene. There was a massive amount of tutorial at the beginning, but I guess with everything you can do in this game, that's needed, so that's fine. So it's just whenever I was editing it all, I was like, holy crap, when are we going to get to actually see some action here? But like Matt was saying, the whole racing thing where you're just like constantly trying to outswing somebody or beat them somewhere, that's cool and all, but just if I didn't know that the game got better later on, I would be like, well, I'm not going to play this much anymore. I don't just want to swing as Spider-Man forever. And like the PS4 game is a national treasure. It's beautiful, and this game is beautiful. So I really liked it when I played it. You know, the game controlled really well. The like I say, the cell shaded graphics, you can't go wrong there. The overabundance of the cutscenes, you know, was a little much, but you can skip them. That's a huge thing, but they're beautiful. So anyway, I mean, I recommend this game. You know, just check it out if you have an Xbox One. You know, it'll play on there. So here we go. We're gonna look at some footage and tell you what we think about it.
All right, guys. As you can see, this game looks really good. Now, to kind of tell you why it looks so good, I am playing this on an Xbox 360 with the HDMI out on it. So it really does help it look good. If you have an OG Xbox and you play it on it, it still is a very, very pretty game, but the HDMI out on the 360 really helps it look good. But other than that, like me and Jeff have been talking with this game, it's a very cinematic kind of game with the cutscenes and all that, like you're seeing here. It is nice how you swap between characters. I mean, you play Venom. Later on, kind of a spoiler, you do end up fighting Venom. Or not Venom, I'm sorry, but Carnage. Um, I mean, as far as the Spider-Man game goes, it gets pretty deep.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually awesome. I love the look of it too. It's just I don't know. It's just amazing. Here's some of that running around. This is more of the tutorial type deal though. It it does a lot of this, but there's so much you can do in the game that you kind of need this.
Yeah, the game kind of does hold your hand for a little bit of an extended period of time, but like he's saying, you do have a lot of abilities you can do, so it's just making sure you're aware of them all. Um, this game is nothing groundbreaking. I mean, the graphics are nice and all, but if you do pay attention to the buildings and stuff, everything's very flat. There's not a lot of three-dimensional detail to a lot of stuff, but also to that point, the game is very comic booky, so maybe they done that on purpose to kind of emulate the two-dimensional look of a comic book.
That's possible. This guy here, this is either Captain Cold or Mr. Freeze. I'm not sure yet. I'm actually joking, so you guys don't just jump in and be like, "Oh, it's DC." But yeah, I don't know who this guy is. But anyway, he's might as well be Captain Cold or Mr. Freeze. But so anyway, you beat him, and then I guess you're playing as Venom here.
Yeah, you swap up to Venom, and you play him about as half as much, really, as you play Spider-Man. You have a lot of racing sequences, like me and Jeff talked about earlier, and you have to do them with Venom as much as you have to do it with Spider-Man.
Look at the guest star here.
Yeah, this is kind of surprising the first time you play it, having to encounter Wolverine. The thing that really sucks about him is just like Wolverine is, his health regenerates. So you have to just pummel the hell out of him to not give him a chance to regenerate his health.
Yeah, and if you see this scene here in just a second where when you finally do beat him, it'll make a lot of Wolverine fans angry because nobody wants to see Wolverine done this way, you know. Look here.
Yeah, and I admit I am cheap shotting him, just bitch slapping the hell out of him the whole time.
Right here, this right here. That's what I was talking about. It'll make people angry. Venom, man, come on, leave him alone. He's had a rough time in life, his long, long life.
Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing that just ticks me off about the current world of Marvel and stuff. I mean, like now they're turning, Venom almost like into a victim, good guy kind of thing, and you can see from just this game, I mean, that's not Venom's MO.
No.
But here, they incorporate Rhino into this scene, which I think is pretty cool.
You're running around saving people. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. You've got time, so much time to do it and everything like that. It's there's just so much stuff you have to do. And then another cinematic.
Right, it's full of. Now, guys, I mean, me and Jeff aren't going to act like this is the best game ever made and all that kind of stuff. If I wanted to kind of showcase this game and stuff because, like me, I'm a Batman guy. I buy everything video game related to Batman except some of the kind of movie based games. If you're a guy that's all about some Spider-Man and you're into the games and stuff, this is one of the better ones to get.
Oh yeah, and if you would have bought it before the PS4 one came out, which you would have if you bought it when it did come out because it's on Xbox One or the original Xbox, this game would have been amazing back then.
Right.
If I'd played it then, I would have been freaking out on how awesome it was. It has a lot of the same play mechanics as the PS4 version. They just seemed to refine them and made everything just perfect for the PS4.
Yeah, because you would kind of honestly think, like Insomniac, some of the folks that programmed the PS4 version had known about this game because the web slinging feels very kind of similar, and some of the things you do in this game, you kind of handle the same way. But no, I mean, it's a cool little game. It can be frustrating. You can pull your hair out in some senses. A lot of cinematics, a lot of fetch questing, kind of stuff like that. But overall, it's a good time.
Apparently, Rhino's a pretty difficult boss because I don't believe you made it right here, did you?
Yeah, I fought him a decent little while here. It's not that he's overly tough or anything. I just honestly said to hell with it and just moved on.
Well, it was enough to make a video on. So thanks for tuning in, you guys.
Yeah, we appreciate it. And don't forget,
Like and subscribe.
do yourself a favor and like and subscribe.